And welcome to our people that watch this back later. Welcome to our Cookidoo Basics info session. What I'll do is I'll share my screen, ladies. Heather, what have you cooked so far in your Thermomix?
So I have made scones, pizza dough, pizza sauce, the veggie stock paste, chicken stock paste. I made whipped cream. I've also done the creamy tomato and salami fettuccine, and then I've done the mushroom risotto.
Oh my goodness, all since Monday, Heather.
Yes.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was very, very easy and got me excited because I just want to keep making more stuff.
Exactly, and that's what happens, doesn't it? Did you know you were going to be that excited?
I think for me, I was looking forward to it, but I'm relatively pessimistic and kind of going up. I probably won't use it that much, but I'm finding it so easy that, I'm starting to think I'll probably use it more than what I expected.
Exactly. And before we get the Thermomix, we have no idea what's possible and what we're actually going to want to make, do we?
Yeah.
And then all these endless possibilities emerge, and we're like, oh, maybe I like cooking more than I do. Oh, well, so have you played around with Cookidoo a lot then, Heather?
Yeah. I thanks to Karen's advice, I downloaded it before receiving it. So I'd already kind of gone through and bookmarked a whole bunch of recipes.
Awesome.
And then once I got notification that it was being delivered, I kind of created a my week. Went through Woolies and did all that, and
well, hopefully you can still learn some things, because it sounds like in a week you've had your Thermi, you're already on your way to becoming a pro. And Carly, have you made an account with Cookidoo already?
No, I'm thinking that's what I might do right now.
Yeah, so if you go to the Australian one, so and this is for everyone watching back, if you haven't created a Cookidoo account, please do so. www.cookidoo.com.au, and you'll do that on a browser, and then once you've set up a free account, you've got a 30-day free account. When you set up your Thermomix, you'll get 6 months free when you pop in your Cookidoo account into your TM6 for the first time. You'll get 6 months added on. After that, if you love Cookidoo and you love everything that you can gain from it, you can choose to continue on with Cookidoo for just $69 a year. So tonight we will, and then you can actually do an app, Carly, once you've done your account on cookidoo.com.au. There is also an app to download from the App Store. Yeah, which makes it super duper handy. Now, each season the photo will change. So it's a beautiful photo in the background here. And this is the homepage of Cookidoo. And basically, this is your recipe hub. So one of the first things that we will do is look at our default before we dive into searching for recipes and looking at the planning aspect. Let's just double check. Let's go. So just so you know, you can go into your profile. Heather, have you done this? Have you set some default filters already?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you're on top of it. So for Carly and for anyone else watching, click up near on the app. It will be a little icon on the top right hand side of the app, or if you're on the browser, it's in your login there. Click on your profile and you'll see this. You can tick your cooking style if you want to, but what I recommend is going in and pressing update filter or update preferences, it might say on the app, and then you get to choose what you want to see. So if you've got a blade cover, tick that box. The blade cover is the silver little disc that you can purchase for slow cooking and peeling as well. If you've got one, tick that box. You'll see all the blade cover recipes as well. And then in your language and country, you've got a choice to make. So if you do speak another language, by all means, tick that language that you speak, because you'll be able to see those authentic recipes in your Cookidoo, all those languages. If you just speak English, then you can choose English. And then what you can do in the country area is you could deselect Australia, which will mean it will pull English from all of the regions, all of the different Cookidoos across the world. It will pull any English from, maybe Singapore might have some, South Africa would have some, Switzerland, UK and the US would have some. So there might be some sitting in Sweden as well. So if you want access to all English from everywhere, just deselect Australia, because it will be ticked already. So deselect that one and just select English in your language and press save. Now, if you don't want to see ounces and you don't want ounces in your shopping list, then be sure to select countries instead of just selecting all, because the US has ounces. I think that's the only country with ounces. So you can go and tick UK, Switzerland, the other English speaking countries, you could tick them. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I've got it is just English and no country, which means it will pull English out of everywhere. And I like that because I want to see every recipe. I don't mind if it's in ounces. Your Thermomix will convert to ounces if you are using an American recipe. The only thing it will affect is your shopping list. So let's have a little look. This is the front page and you will see latest recipes here. You'll also see our most cooked for the day here. And then there are some articles and different things as well. So if you love everything Thermomix, you might want to go in and read some of our articles. There's those things as well. And then you can keep going and there are collections as well. The collections, what we call our cookbooks in Thermomix land. So let's have a look at some collections and some recipes. Basically, on this page, you've got your search. So let's hit search. And what most people do is either search for something they feel like eating, or something, maybe a type of food like Mexican or Italian, or you could search via an ingredient that you've got to use up. So what would you, Carly, what's something you might like to cook, or an ingredient you've got heaps of that you want to use up?
I have lots of carrot and zucchini in my fridge at the moment.
All righty, let's try that. Let's put them both in and see what happens. Oh, there's a few. So you can see these must be from the various English speaking countries. They all have this particular recipe, which you might see sometimes, some double ups. More often than not, you're going to see new recipes though. So this has decreased from our 9,500 recipes that we did have. We've decreased down to 170. So that makes it more manageable to look through. And then you can get ideas on things you might want to make that have carrot and zucchini. And then the other thing you can do to help you narrow down even further is use your filter. Now, before we were up in our profile setting a default for our whole app, but right now I just want to put a filter on for this particular search. So I'm going to hit filter, and I want to make sure it's a main dish. I don't want a salad or anything. I want a main dish. So I'm going to tick those two categories. And the filter's super handy because you can also say, you know what, I want a really quick dinner. I don't want to be hands-on for more than 15 minutes. And I want it to be, I don't mind if it's ready a bit longer. I just want my prep time nice and quick. So you could tick those. If you need it ready within 30 minutes or 45 minutes, by all means, tick those as well. And you might want to say, you know what, I want all the 4 and 5 star ones. Thank you very much. You can also tick by the ratings. So these are rated by our users in our community. So you guys can rate things as well when you cook them. So there we go. It's narrowed it down to main dishes that are going to be quick and easy with carrot and zucchini. Um, what looks good to you, Carly, from these first few? Anything you'd like to make?
I reckon I could probably do the zucchini lasagna.
Yeah.
So,
It does look yummy. Actually, it could even be a low carb one using the zucchini as pasta sheets, perhaps. So you can have a look at the recipe, see if you've got the ingredients or you want to buy them. And then you can scroll down a bit more and see what cookbook it came from. And lo and behold, it is low carb. If I clicked on that cookbook, it would take me to that book and I'd be able to see what's in there too, in that collection. You've also got tags here, which is super handy. You could click on something else, some other tag, and it will bring up other recipes with that tag. Heaps of tags there. So if you like the dish, and by the way, if you want to rate, you just click on the stars and that's how you rate things. Same with the app, hold your finger on the stars. Now I'm going to just go back one step and just show you, just show you that 3 dots are your magic friends. So clicking on the 3 dots brings up all these options. Now, Heather, I'm sure you've already played around with this.
Yeah.
And Carly and the people that are watching later on will see these 3 dots are super handy. You can put them into your week. So I like the look of that too. I might pop that one in next week. I'm just going to randomly select a day. You can also add it to your shopping list or add it to a collection. So for instance, you can make your own folders. And I'm sure you've made heaps, Heather.
Yes. Yeah.
I have 2. I think the maximum is 100 and I have got to 100. So sometimes I have to go in and clean up a bit and get some. I make collections for things like Christmas gifts, Christmas Day, and then things like condiments and other things like that, desserts, things like that, dips. So I'll look for vegetarian. So I'm going to scroll right down the vegetarian savory. So I'm going to pop this one in there for me, just so it's in my little file, in my own created collection. Now, so then what you do next is, so you can repeat that process with other ingredients you've got to use up, or say you feel like eating Italian, I might just write Italian dinner. Let's write that. You can write something like that. Let's see what happens if I get rid of the word dinner. And we've still got the same filters that I just applied to the carrot and zucchini. So we've still got all those. So within the same search session, it will keep those filters for you, but the next time you search, it will clear them. So this is bringing up main dishes, veggie, meat, quick prep time. Oops. That's right. I was just checking my thing that I'd got it out of the oven. It wasn't burning. The second one. And this one will bring up some ideas for Italian. So you don't have to know exactly what you want to make, but you can just type it in, or you could type in Asian or things like that. But be sure to use your filters to narrow down exactly what you're after. You might really want to do a drink with mint in it, or you might really want to do a dessert. So does that make sense, Carly?
Yeah, that's really good.
It's really going to save you time narrowing down, because otherwise we do have 9,500 English recipes. And again, those 3 dots is what you'll look for to add to your week and your calendars and even cook today. Let's look at what the calendar looks like. So I did these beef tarts earlier today. I didn't do these 2 today. What I tend to do is pop them in to inspire myself, but I do actually change things around a fair bit. But if there's something I like the look of, I'll whack it in so I don't forget about it. So I've got a few of these things that I've whacked in, and you can see zucchini lasagnas there. Each person will use their Cookidoo menu planner differently. I do use it to help me plan, and a lot of people do as well. This is an event we're doing on 28th of June down in Walkerville, which everyone's invited to. It's free, and this is what we're going to be making that night. If you want to then add things to your shopping cart, you just press add to shopping cart either here or here in your 3 dots as well. So we'll press add to shopping cart. So I'll show you what that looks like. And then before we look at the shopping cart, let's look at my recipes up here. And the app looks very similar. In my recipes, yummy, you can have some. Oh, you got one? In my recipes, we've got bookmarks. So in the 3 dots, if you just hit bookmark from your TM6, this is where it will end up. It'll end up in bookmarks, and I'll show you in a minute what it looks like on the TM6. Created are the ones you've created, the collections you've created. So we popped that vegetarian lasagna into my vegetarian collection just before. They will be sitting there. And over here, this tab saved is these are collections that I've saved from doing a search. So these are actual cookbooks. Let's just check that, and I'll show you what those cookbooks look like. I'm going to hit search. It's going to bring me to that same page. Again, you got those 9,000 results. In this drop down little arrow, you can click on that and you can search by collection. Let's click that. So now we are looking at our collections. And because I have all countries open in my default, it's going to bring up other countries, so not just English when we're searching by collection. When we're searching by recipe, it does show just English. Collection, it shows via the countries you've chosen. So to make things easier, I might just quickly jump in and click on Australia just for this search. So now you can see all the Australian ones, 151 different books. So each recipe you look up will come from one of these books. Some of the books are printed, like this one. They're printed and you can purchase them. Other ones are smaller collections that are not printed. So you can tell the difference by if the font is bold, like most of these on this page, then it's just a collection and it's just a mini collection really. If you see one that looks different, like Thermomix one here, Eat Well, Festive Flavour, these are full cookbooks that are printed and you could purchase them, and they'll have around 100 recipes. Whereas the other ones with just the bold plain font, they will just have around 10 recipes. Now you can hit save, it'll be a green button. So I'll just hit remove now so you can see it'll be a green save button like that. You can save the cookbook, and that's when it will appear in your saved collections in your Cookidoo app, but also on your Thermomix. I'm just going to turn my Thermomix back on because it turned itself off. So any book that you hit save on from your phone app, from your computer app, hit like this, it's going to save it. So in case, say, Wi-Fi went down, or you were traveling with your Thermomix, didn't have good Wi-Fi, anything you hit save on, it's going to be stored in your Thermomix locally. You won't need Wi-Fi. So, and that's the same with any of your collections that you create. They are as well. The only thing you can't access is your weekly planner and any recipes that you create from scratch, which we won't touch on tonight, but it's called created recipes, and you can look forward to learning more about that. Heather probably already knows but she might not. I might have found something you haven't tried yet, but you probably have.
Yeah, I have seen a bit of this.
So this is created recipes, which we can write 100 of our own recipes, or we can bring them in from Recipe Community. We'll do that in advanced Cookidoo, which another team leader's doing later in June, I think the 22nd or something, 23rd. We can get you that info, but this is when you write your own recipe. You can even upload your own photos. So that's my own photo. This one's my own photo too. Yeah, so you can actually write your own recipes, which is awesome. They won't be accessible without Wi-Fi, but everything else is. We'll go have a look at what that looks like on your phone. But first we're going to look at that shopping list, aren't we? So shopping lists can save you lots of time. What I often do is, I'm just going to hit show ingredients. What I often do is I will be at the front of the shops and I'll bring up my app on my phone. I'll look up what I want to make and I'll go shopping with my phone app and I will tick things off. That's how I do it. A lot of other people might pop it into their calendar and plan it perfectly. So whatever works for you is perfect. I should have cleared my shopping list before I did this for you guys, but I'll show you how you can. You can remove things from the shopping list. So I'm currently looking via recipe. You can look via category. I like to start by looking by recipe to make sure I've got the right ones in, and also to make sure I don't want to substitute anything, because you might be doing a chicken curry and you want to substitute it, so you can see exactly what recipes there are, and then you can make your substitutions instead of ordering everything or shopping for everything. So these are the dishes for that class that we are doing later this month. So what I would do now, once I'm happy with all my recipes, I might get rid of a few. Oh, it doesn't matter, we'll keep them all. What I do is I pop them in, and then what we do is we tick them off, the things that we've already got. So ticking off our butter, we've got milk, I've got enough milk, I need some more cream, we've got heaps of apple, heaps of lemon, heaps of orange, I need chicken. So you're just going to click off from your pantry or from your fridge, tick off what you've already got. Maple syrup we've got. And then before you know it, you're actually going to have most of the things. And then when you go shopping, or if you order online, which we'll look at next, then you won't have very much to get at all. We've got chilies already, we've got parsley in the garden, we've got heaps of garlic. So I would go through, I usually shop for around 3 or 4 things, but you can shop for your whole week if you want. It's up to you. If you want to be even more convenient, you just need to press order ingredients. And if you're on your phone, I believe it will be in the 3 little dots on the top right-hand side of your phone. You can also do share and print. So you could email it to a friend, a partner, you could copy it and put it into a text or things like that. So the shopping list is very, very handy for all kinds of ways of using it, either ordering it from Woolworths. It is connected to Woolies if you press order ingredients, and they will get delivered to you. So that is super duper handy. Let me see. Now, if you are very adventurous and you want to see even more, you could look at the non-English speaking ones and then use Google Translate. So a lot of people like doing that if you're really wanting to see the authentic French or authentic German recipes. Using Google Translate, you could use all of Cookidoo in the other languages as well, if you want to. But for me, personally, I'm perfectly fine with just English. It's keeping me quite busy, but I do know a lot of people who like to look at the other countries, so feel free to do that as well. Have you done that much, Karen? Have you looked at Google Translate?
No, I haven't, Jess. No, I haven't been adventurous yet.
We'll do a session on that because we've got a few people in our team who like doing it. Really depends on what you like doing in Cookidoo. So if you're interested in that, we'll do
that would be good. I had a question today,
yes,
Jess, about the blade cover.
Yes.
And I just quickly saw that you put that in. She was making the beef bourguignon. I'm sure I'm not saying that right.
Yeah.
And because it was a slow cook one, she assumed that she would be using her. Yeah, I can't remember how to spell it.
I do know that one.
Yeah, and she assumed that she would have to put the blade cover on because it was cooked for longer.
Yeah, it's not in that one. Just a sec.
Right.
Have a look.
Where's my phone?
Recipes. I do cook that one a fair bit. So I might just hit search from the beginning and just clear everything. Beef cheeks, that should bring it up. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, these ones
With spelling.
very popular. And you can use just normal beef. You don't have to use beef cheeks. I think they're more expensive. You can just use 800 grams of beef instead of 2 beef cheeks. Yeah, it doesn't need the blade cover. Not everything does. I found if there's enough liquid in a dish, it doesn't need a blade cover. But yeah, definitely use it if it says to. And I found that with some chicken dishes too, Karen. I've always recommended chicken thigh when cooking anything in the bowl. And then more recently, I'm noticing breast is okay if there's enough liquid. So let's look up chicken curry. Let's look up butter chicken. It's a very popular one to look up. I was surprised that this one is using breast. And often when we use breast, when we use thigh, it's often because it makes it more tender and succulent, and it's a bit more robust. It won't break up in the Thermomix. This particular one is one of my favorite butter chickens, by the way. It uses chicken breast and tikka paste, which you can make in your Thermomix. And let's turn that down. And it's using chicken breast cut up, not too big. Often we say cut up your chicken breast quite large so that it really keeps its form. But yeah, this one is totally fine. And I think the reason is because there's so much cream in it. It's a very liquidy, beautiful sauce that you create, and it protects the chicken, Darren. So yeah,
that looks delicious. I must try that one.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. I'm considering whether you don't need as much cream because it's very creamy. It makes a lot. I do double the chicken, and that's all I double, and it's fine. So you can do a kilo if you want. But you can use tandoori paste as well if you want instead of.
I have 2 questions that I'd like to ask, and one's actually perfect timing because you said you doubled the chicken. Does anything need to change in terms of cooking times if you are increasing that? Because I know when Karen came over, we made an awesome creamy coconut chicken curry, and I want to add more chicken to it when I make it next time.
Definitely, you can. So I'll answer that. Great question, and that's a great dish. So let's look that one up, and I'll talk to that one. So that was the creamy. Oh, but those butter chickens are all so good. Creamy coconut chicken with cauliflower rice. Where are we? There we go. So this one uses about 500 grams, got some good ratings there. 500 grams of chicken. Where are we? Chicken. There we go. And it's thighs. Now, I often would increase this one very easily up to 700, no problem. You could increase it all the way up. You can double it to a kilo. I do a maximum of 1.3 kilos of chicken in a cup. But for this particular recipe, there's not heaps of liquid. So I've safely gone up to about 900 in this recipe. I would what I normally, this particular recipe does, as I said, doesn't have much liquid. Just increase the liquid a bit more and that will get a nicer texture of your chicken. And in terms of but most of the other dishes, it makes heaps of sauce. So you don't need to increase the sauce usually. This particular one you do. In terms of do you need to cook it longer? For this particular, for this recipe and in general, we do say if you double a recipe, and I'm just saying double the chicken here, you could increase some of the other components, but you don't have to for this one. But if you did double a recipe completely, we just say to increase the time by 20%.
Okay.
But what that looks like in reality is I add a few minutes to each step. So I would put, say, 10 minutes here in step 5.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably put like 8 minutes in step 6 and maybe 3 minutes in step 2. So I literally just add on a couple of minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes to the whole dish.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
So because we're already up at temperature, you don't need to double the time. It's not
awesome.
Yeah. But sometimes, like for that previous one, if I just double the chicken, I sometimes just add a minute to the cook time, really. It'll be fine. But yeah, so you can add a little bit more. This one is one of my favorites if you've got time up your sleeve. This one is delicious. It's probably the best flavor butter chicken that I know of. It does require, it's a little bit longer, so you can see prep time 40 minutes. Some of the others you can have prep time right down to 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, that one's really delicious. You make the butter sauce, you make the tandoori paste within the recipe, I think. But you actually cook the chicken in the oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different there, but it's probably the most authentic one. That's why it's got the Merg Makhani name, the Indian name. But yeah, if you're short on time, I definitely recommend this butter chicken. That's from the UK. And also kid-friendly butter chicken is great. You don't need any sauces pre-made. Oops, it's logged me out by the look of it. Come on, log me back in. But yeah, you don't need any pre-made sauces for this one. It's just normal ingredients there. Oops. Chicken. So kid-friendly is very quick, done in 35 minutes. And the Woodies no butter chicken is very popular. That stays in really big pieces if you like it like that. You cut the chicken a lot bigger. Then of course there's other ones like chicken tikka masala and all kinds of ones. Chicken korma with cashew. So some of those are the really popular ones, quick and popular. Probably steer clear of this one, unfortunately. 3.5. I have made it once or twice, and I don't know what's wrong with that recipe, but it's just not as popular. And unfortunately, that's the one in our basic cookbook. So yeah, give these ones a try if you really have something fancy. Do the Merg Makhani one. Otherwise, these ones are just as nice they're almost as nice for a quick one, the kid-friendly and the Woodies no butter. Pretty quick. This one's pretty quick and easy too, but you do have to have made or buy tikka paste or tandoori paste. The tikka paste is a cooked paste. It will last longer, 40 minutes. Whereas if you want to use tandoori paste, that's what Karen would have used when you did the creamy chicken. That one's quicker. You don't have a 40-minute cook, but it won't last as long. So we just freeze those ones instead to make them last longer if they haven't had a long cook.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not showing the method.
Don't stress.
Kicked me out. But yeah, very, very similar recipes.
We just left out the Kashmiri chili.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That one, yes.
Yeah, I remember hearing about.
I'm a lightweight with spice.
No, well, that's why it's perfect. You've got a Thermomix because you can adapt things. Like you can make beautiful curries without the chili.
Another question, and sorry if I'm kind of taking over my answer. With the blade, I know that if you put the blade a certain way, obviously it cuts things, but I've read that if you put it another way, it kind of mixes it. I had a friend make that mistake with a shepherd's pie, but when I'm looking at it, I can't work out what the other way you would put the blade is.
I'm just going to sign in again. So okay, good question. Let's look at our TM6 now. We don't swap blades over as such. We don't turn it upside down or whatever. Same with the blade cover. But what we can do is we can press a button on our Thermomix to swap the blades into reverse. Is that what you
Okay, yes, it is.
Yeah, so if you're cooking manually, you need to press it. But if you're cooking a guided recipe,
It'll automatically do it.
Yeah, so if
Awesome.
it's actually that little blade button down there, that's reverse.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. That solves many questions I have.
Yeah, that's usually the one thing. Often if people have had a Thermomix before and they're upgrading, so they're not quite familiar with this screen, they're like, where's reverse? So yeah, there you go. There's reverse. And that's what's needed for things that are chunky or have texture. And that's when you're cooking with manually. You're manually selecting a time, a temperature, and a speed. But if we're using a guided recipe, and I'm just hit the search button, and you can see there's exactly what we were looking at on the computer. It's also on here. These ones will already have reverse as needed, and the blades will go in the opposite direction. I'm going to press home and quickly show you. We have gone over time. Sorry. It's the first time I've done an express session like this. But I've just pressed the home button and then I've pressed the menu up in the top left-hand corner. This is where you'll find your week that we were looking at before. So that those things we've just added, we added the zucchini lasagna. That's automatically in there. Just tap on the picture. That'll bring up your lasagna, and Carly, we'll go over this when yours arrives, how to use it exactly. But your weekly calendar's in there. You can press a different view if you're wanting to see prior to today. You just need to select the calendar icon, and that will change into calendar view, which means you can go backwards and forwards. Oops, you can even add shopping list from here. I must be touching on it. So you can go backwards and forwards in time and see what you've made in the past. And you'll also find in your menu, you'll find your recipes. So we'll look up our saved collections. So these are the cookbooks that I've chosen to save. So I've got like 5,000 recipes in my Thermomix. You will find them all here. So I'm going to click on cocktails. So this is a mini cookbook, mini collection on cocktails, and that's where you'll find them. Same with your created collections. They're also listed there, and your created recipes are found there as well. Created collections. My internet must be having a moment. That's my Cookidoo. There we go. Created collections. Yeah, it's logged me out for some reason. Well, there we go. My partner's using Zoom. Probably our internet bandwidth is suffering. Yeah, then you will find your collections as well. So I've got family favorites in there, and that's where you will find your collections that you create on your TM6. Very, very, very handy. Well, are there any other questions at this point, ladies?
Not from me.
No.
Awesome. I'll just move back over here. That is great. Well, we might finish up there then for our basic session, ladies. Oops, just a sec. You don't want to see my dishes. Let's move. Yeah, thank you for joining. That was just a quick overview of basics. Hopefully that was useful. And I look forward to seeing you, Carly, when yours arrives, and we'll go over some more things.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining. And we'll send you some invites to other upcoming learning opportunities, ladies.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you, Karen.
See you, Jess.
Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Lovely. See you then.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
Bye.